Thanks for watching, folks. We're in Traverse City, just outside of the Dennos Museum, and as you can tell behind me, there's a lot going on. With us, Executive Director of the Dennos, Gene Jenneman. Gene, thanks for making time for us.
It's a pleasure.
All right, obviously we have to talk about what's going on behind us. You've got the hard hat on. What's happening?
Well, we are adding 15,000 square feet to the building. This is a significant expansion of the museum, and it has several purposes. What we're seeing on this side, on the south side of the building, is expansion for permanent collection galleries for our art collection, which has grown significantly since the museum opened in 1991. Part of this is for our collection of Inuit art. We opened the museum, there were 500 works in the collection at that time. There are now 1,500 works in the collection. And our other art collection, general art collection, is about 1,000 cataloged works. So most of this sits in storage. And what we're doing here is we're adding galleries where we can start to utilize the permanent collection on an ongoing basis. Now, it doesn't mean all 1,000 works are going to be out or anything like that, but it means we can get our collection out for the public on a regular basis. And it also, and most importantly, we can now start to use the collection more effectively as a teaching tool on campus with various academic programs, be that a studio art class or a descriptive writing or creative writing class or any number of other approaches that faculty will find to utilize that collection in instruction. And they will curate from our collection, and those works will be up for the full semester.
Now, also, in addition to all that, you're also giving support space. I mean, you got to store stuff, and that makes the museum work better.
Yes, most of the time everybody sees the front end, the exhibition side and so on, but there's a lot of support behind that. In the component here, as it relates to the museum and exhibition, we will have storage for additional pedestals and crates and all of the things that go along behind the scenes with that. But on Milliken Auditorium, we are adding actually things that would have been great to have added to Milliken Auditorium when we originally built and opened in 1991, but budget didn't allow for that. So we are now adding a classroom space because Milliken is increasingly being used more as a laboratory for the music department. And we are also adding storage for musical instruments and other related materials, and a new loading dock, which we really needed for a long time. So the overall package of 15,000 square feet addresses all of these different components and needs to take the museum forward for the next 25 years.
Now, we're standing here on Front Street, and directly to the rear of us here, you were explaining that there's going to be a rather long glass wall.
Yes, this addition to the museum incorporates a lot more glass into it. We're really going to bring the outside in for the experience of our visitors. And this long glass wall of the promenade will be about 128 feet of glass. And you'll walk through this promenade. It will take you from the expanded Inuit gallery into the new galleries for the permanent collection storage. And of course, it will just open up the campus, if you will, or open up the museum to the campus. It'll be a whole different experience being in the building.
Now, for those of you who drive by and see what's going on here, it should be noted that this is not interfering with the ongoing operations of what happens at the museum, right?
Well, it is and it isn't.
Okay.
It hasn't been, but it will. Part of what we are going to be doing here is retrofitting the old part of the building with a new part of the HVAC system, and there are boxes in the ceiling, heat exchangers and so on, that are being replaced because they've sort of reached the age of need for repair and so on. And we're also putting digital control on the old side of the building, because the new side of the building will all be digital control, and the old side still involves pneumatic control for temperature control and so on. So there's going to come a point, probably in April now, where we will have to close the museum galleries for about 2 months, we think.
Yeah.
Well, they literally cut holes in the ceiling of the galleries to replace these units and so on, and also add plenums to bring the environmental control from the old part of the building into the new galleries. So there will be a time that we're going to have to close down. So we've said all along, people who are coming to the museum from any significant distance, it's probably advisable to get on our website or sign up for our e-news, which you can do through our website, and or call us at our number 231-995-1055, and just make sure that we're open. But we think it's now going to be early April that we will be closing for a period of time.
Gene, thank you.
You're welcome.
In Traverse City, just outside the Dennos Museum, I'm Vic McCarty for My News 26.